The liar's paradox is a profound and perplexing logical problem that arises when a statement refers to itself in a way that leads to an inescapable contradiction. The simplest and most famous version of this paradox is the sentence, "This statement is false." At first glance, it appears to be a straightforward declaration, but attempting to determine whether it is true or false results in an endless loop of contradiction. If the statement is true, then what it asserts must hold, meaning it is false. But if it is false, then it must not be false, meaning it is true. This self-referential contradiction prevents the statement from being consistently classified as either true or false, making it an enduring puzzle in philosophy and logic. The paradox has ancient origins, first documented by the Greek philosopher Eubulides of Miletus, who posed similar self-referential problems that questioned the nature of truth. Over time, various formulations of the paradox have emerged, each exposing different dimensions of the issue. One notable variation is the Epimenides paradox, named after the Cretan philosopher Epimenides, who famously stated, "All Cretans are liars." If his statement is true, then as a Cretan himself, he must be lying, which makes his statement false. But if his statement is false, then not all Cretans are liars, meaning some tell the truth, which reintroduces the contradiction. The paradox challenges the very foundation of logical consistency and raises deep questions about self-reference and meaning. Beyond logic, the implications of the liar's paradox extend into numerous disciplines, including mathematics, linguistics, and even psychology. In mathematics, the paradox has inspired some of the most significant discoveries in modern logic. Kurt Gödel's Incompleteness theorems, which shook the foundations of mathematics in the 20th century, were influenced by the structure of the liar's paradox. Gödel showed that in any sufficiently complex mathematical system, there will always be statements that are true but unprovable within the system itself, mirroring the self-referential contradiction of the liar's statement. This realization has profound implications, suggesting that no formal system can fully encapsulate all mathematical truths, placing limits on what can be proven within logic and computation. In linguistics, the paradox sheds light on the difficulties of self-reference and the structure of language. Language allows for statements that seem grammatically correct, but lead to logical inconsistencies when meaning is considered. This has implications for artificial intelligence and natural language processing, where machines must navigate ambiguous or paradoxical statements without falling into infinite loops. In computer science, the paradox also appears in programming, particularly in recursion and self-referential functions. If a program attempts to determine the truth of a statement about itself in certain logical frameworks, it can lead to undecidable outcomes, making the paradox a real and practical concern in algorithm design. The paradox also has psychological and philosophical significance. It serves as a metaphor for human reasoning, self-doubt, and the contradictions we encounter in our own thoughts. People sometimes hold beliefs that, upon closer examination, contradict themselves, yet they persist in those beliefs due to cognitive biases or emotional commitments. The paradox can be seen as a reminder that truth is not always as simple or clear-cut as it appears, and that self-reflection often leads to deeper and more complex questions rather than straightforward answers. Attempts to resolve the liar's paradox have taken many forms. One approach is to argue that the statement is neither true nor false, but falls into a separate category altogether, leading to the development of paraconsistent logic, which allows for contradictions without rendering the entire system invalid. Another attempt at resolution comes from Alfred Tarski's theory of truth, which suggests that truth can only be meaningfully discussed in a hierarchical system where statements about truth exist at different levels. Under this framework, a sentence cannot meaningfully assert its own truth value within the same system, thereby avoiding the paradox. However, While these approaches offer ways to sidestep the issue, they do not fully eliminate the fundamental problem of self-reference. The moral of the story is that truth is a delicate and complex concept, one that is not always as absolute as it seems. The liar's paradox serves as a humbling reminder that even the most basic assumptions about truth, language, and logic can lead to deep and unresolved contradictions. It challenges us to think critically about the foundations of knowledge and to remain open to the idea that some questions may never have simple or complete answers. In a world that often seeks certainty, the paradox reminds us that uncertainty is an inherent part of human thought, and sometimes the greatest wisdom lies in recognizing the limits of what we can know.